Yes, yes, yes. I want to welcome you all to the You Wasn't
DJ
Outside
Normal Ass
podcast on the
Carl
Grown Folks
in the
Podcast
mix.
Network. I'm one of your hosts, not doing the most normal ass Carl. To my front, I have my man, the myth, the legend, had Dunzo, man. What's good, bro?
Nothing, you know who it is. It's your boy Dunzo, a.k.a. the Dusty Dynamo, a.k.a. Diet Drewski. We know what time it is.
Diet Drewski is crazy. You ever thought about dyeing your hair?
This is funny. I was just
Post 30.
Oh.
Post 30.
You know, I'm never going to say no because I told myself I was going to cut the braids off at 30, and I'm 31 in like a month. And
Nah, that's not what you said.
Here.
You said around 29, I think you said like in the summertime, you keep pushing
No, I didn't
it
start
back.
growing my hair out until I was like almost 29. That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to give it 1 year and then cut it off.
I remember when you said it because you were telling your dad. I swear you said it was like a seasonal thing, and here we are.
Yeah, 110%.
Either way, it's part of your new identity.
I guess so.
You can't go back.
Every day I think about cutting it.
Yeah, you think about it. It doesn't mean you like.
I feel like my head would look weird now at this point.
That's the other thing. Right? That's what I'm saying. It's
I
part of
forget
your,
what it looks like underneath here.
It's part of your identity now. So it's like, why let that go?
Also, people think I'm much taller.
With the braids?
Or like even like, I don't really rock a fro. I usually pull my hair back, you know? But.
What you telling me, 6'4"?
People think I'm like 6'3". And I'm like, I'm not even 6'1".
Nah, I would just go around.
And the hair is pulled back and like the back is kind of puffy, but it's pretty slicked back when it's pulled back. So I'm like, you can't look at the front of my hair and be like, oh, it's puffy enough to think he's 3 inches taller. But hey, if you want to tell me, if you go up like, oh, he's 6'3", I'm never going to correct you.
I'm mad at that. Last time you was here, you said that you was going to find you a girl with a kid. Did you find one yet?
Yeah, she broke my heart. I'm going to keep it a bug.
That's funny. Oh, shit.
I'm hurt. Yeah, bro. It's been... I'm here for my yearly check-in.
Yeah. No. Hey, look, I'll put you. I don't know how many more pods I got left in me, right? This is like the first time I started really considering like retirement, right? I don't want to go out and find any co-hosts, right? Like I really don't. You know what I mean? Like what I had is what I had. But I'm like, I'm heavily considering it, right? And we just came off a fire pod last week with my man Haas coming in, right? So it's like now I've been seriously thinking about it. So week to week, it's a week to week thing. I was about to scratch today's episode, and then I hit Zoe at the very last minute and was like, "You want pod?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Cool." I wasn't gonna just dip off without telling nobody nothing, though. You know what I mean?
I got a question. Me and my boys have talked about this. One of my friends used to talk to a cheerleader at a college. And she got hurt, and she said she retired from cheering. And you're saying you retired
Y'all
from
took
pod.
that well?
the group chat had
Just want to make sure.
But the reason why I say
It's
that...
a hard thing to feel like, yo.
The group chat... And I can understand, if you're like an elite like cheerleader, which means it incorporates gymnastics, I can understand that.
I understand
but if you're the bottom of the base, I'm not going to say you retired. But my question is to you, do you consider yourself a professional podcaster?
No.
Then you can't retire.
No.
You can't retire from a men's league.
Yes, I do.
Okay, because that's like me being like, I retired from my men's league.
Here's the reason why I do consider myself a professional podcaster. We do X amount of listens a month, right? I won't say what it is, right? And some people have been rocking with us for years. And so I feel like, and then also when I don't put an episode out, there's enough people that get upset or be like, yo, what happened? Or people randomly hit me up that start back listening again, where it's like, we're pretty much a staple. Right? Now, a small staple, yes, right?
You created your own ecosystem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, like the people that we have, the YouTube numbers don't reflect what we do. Right? I know what those numbers are, like on a day-to-day. I know when they peak. I know when they go down. I know when they come up with certain guests and type of shit. So it's like there will be people that's like, yo, how do I fill in my time slot on Monday and Tuesdays or my Wednesday watch, my Thursday watch? I tell people this to answer your question. Like Joe always says, you know how hard it is to sell one of something. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to go out and ask people for money or whatever in terms of like, yo, justify like whatever I do is for you to make money. But at the same time, it's also hard to get people's time.
Yeah, 110%.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like from the times that we've been doing, I wouldn't do 2-hour pods if I didn't know there wasn't a significant number of people that was listening.
That makes sense.
And so like with that being said, I would consider myself a professional podcaster in the sense that I can hold a conversation, I can hold interesting pods and shit like that. I just can't generate any revenue off of this. Not because part of it is because I won't go to the level of where I need to go to make it to get there. I want to have some level of integrity. And then the other piece is I'm not gonna invest that much time into it to do it. So like Jay and Lex not being here, you know, at the end of the day, it's more so like, yo, like I don't pay them to be here.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's like if she misses a pod, which today she had to, you know, miss out because she's got some personal stuff she needs to handle, cool. And the way that like she sends me messages is like she feel like she let me down. You're not letting me down. You know what I mean? Because like I've always viewed this as a hobby. And so anyone else that's coming in here doing it because they enjoy the hobby too. With him, he got some other shit going on in that, you know, me and him haven't talked in the last 3 weeks. I ain't gonna even go into depth about that, but it's just something that I don't feel like at this juncture, after, you know, so much time that's passed, that like I need to go into it. I ain't got no beef. Right? Like it may seem like I have beef. Like y'all asked me, you know, like when he first went out.
I just don't think you hear the tone in which you talk sometimes.
I know, but you know what else? The other piece is like I think that I heard this before too, right? Like people will provoke you and get mad when that shit work. Like the patience that I exude is top tier. I'll give you a great example.
This is crazy. Are you a professional podcaster?
It is. But like, and now we just podding, right? We conversing. Yesterday, I know that golf and baseball are white sports, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I'm talking about patience again, right? And I'm talking about, do I consider myself a professional podcaster, and do I still want to go and talk about retirement? So let me just tell you where I'm at. My daughter has a golf tournament yesterday. White dude I ain't never seen before it comes up. He probably seen my daughter like pushing herself up in the rankings. He probably also saw that we black people out here on this golf course. I've never seen this dude before. We've been at 4 or 5 tournaments, right? And I noticed off the rip, bro's energy is crazy, right? This is a whole one. Like I'm going out here shaking hands and shit. He's sizing me up.
Oh, the other dad?
Yeah. I was like, bro, I got dog in me too. Like I know what you're doing. And I told Adele, when we got off the tee, I was like, he got some energy right now. I don't know what it is, but we about to find out. And first hole, I get it. The group we was with, 2 Asian kids also with us, 2 Asian boys, and then it was me and his daughter. They mixed the kids up. They were lagging, and there was hella kids. Mom and dads don't speak English. The little brother's helping the other one. He like 9. You know what I mean? Man. So it's like, you know, it's a long group.
It's just a process.
Right.
It's just a process.
So he's like, we need to speed it up. This is what my man is saying now, right? Well, we need to speed it up. It's like, motherfucker, right. It's cool. Corey wasn't hitting the ball good, like, on the range. So I was like, I got to scramble now to, like, at least get her through. So she hits a shot, her first shot or whatever, not the greatest one in the world. And I tell her to go hybrid, a little deep a little close for a hybrid. But I say, yo, give me a half shot hybrid so I could just roll it up there, right? Motherfucker turned to me, he's like, that's not the club you would typically use from there. First of all, bro, I could tell by your stature that I'm better than you, right? So I don't need you telling me no shit like this. But you feel like you as a white man, you feel like you helping me. Maybe I'm wrong, right? We get to the next hole, right? Now, Adele tells me that under his breath, he says, oh, you know what? We need to hurry up and get this going because these kids not in your league. The fuck you talking about? I'm looking at your daughter. I don't see nothing that's like fucking amazing like out of her right now, right? We get to the third hole, right? Corey went 6-6-5, right, on the first 3 holes. Mm-hmm. On that third one is right. It's like I said, oh, she got a 5. He's like, really? Adele was like, hey, you know what? There's kids here, and at this point, I had noticed he had a cooler with him and a little thing of Konas with him, right? And they said light because I'm trying to read the can because I was like, yo, the way he's acting is kind of weird right now, right? And she said, hey, you know, there's kids. I said, stop. I said, you need to stop right now. I was like, let me handle this real quick. I walk up to dude. I lean over into him and I say, look, I said, my daughter is 6 years old. She just turned 6 last month. I said, your daughter's turning 7 this year. I said, I've already looked into you. I said, we're going to be spending the next 10 years together going back and forth at events. And let me just tell you that we're going to get fucking better. And I got dog in me. And I'm going to teach her to have that same dog in her too. You can decide on how you want this shit to go. It's totally up to you how you want this to go. Motherfucker turns so pale. And I pat him on the back like, good game. Real tough one too, right? He feel the strength. The motherfucker asked me if I played linebacker earlier before. It felt like that was disrespectful too. Like, why can't I just be a studious motherfucker?
Because you're...
I get it. It's cool.
You sat in the same place.
But all the aggression that my man hit me with for 3 holes, which is about 45 fucking minutes, right? I'm exuding patience until you start questioning me, right? Like now it's like your aggression towards my wife, you know, my brother-in-law who was out there, some other shit that happened. Like now I'm letting you know, I'm hollering at you in a tone that lets you know that I see what you doing, right? And bro hits me maybe about 10 minutes later because his daughter hit a shot. I say, hey, out a girl, nice shot. Letting him know that I'm just here for the competitive nature, but if you want our relationship to be like this, you can make it like this by how you act about certain things. And he came to me and he was like, hey man, can we start all over? Drunk as fuck though, right? Like a skunk. Smell like
at least he was being honest.
He said, look man, I'm out of line. I said, oh, that's cool. I was like, I'm not even tripping. I said, I don't want you to take my energy wrong. But there was a point where I let you get off all the things you were doing. So you're right? The way I respond to things at the time when I do it, I'd be like, yo, enough's enough, right? And I'm not even sugarcoating that on anything. I say that about anything that I do. There's a point that I hit where it's just like, yo, enough is enough. There's a lot of shit that I just bury and I let go, right? But like unbeknownst to anyone, Cecil said this a couple of weeks ago when he was here. He was like, yo, man, it's funny how like you get into the pod stage or you get into the stage with people that you work with or whatever, and you just talk about surface level shit all the time. And things keep happening and you don't address those things, right? And that could be about anybody.
100%.
And then it's like that shit hits you and it eats you up inside or whatever. And then finally it's like, yo, it comes out in some type of fashion. So I agree with that. Right. But then also on the other side, it's like, yo, I've shot people grace. I've shot them, you know, side conversations, just in anything. Right. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm saying this just in anything. And it's like, yo, when people aren't ready, that's cool. We never talk about the person that was there, you know, asking them and checking in on them the whole time. It's like you don't win from that.
But those aren't supposed to be wins.
For who? The win isn't for me.
But no, I'm saying like, the person who's checking in is just supposed to be the person checking in. Like,
right.
Like that's, you can't, I don't think that's like, if the person you're checking in on starts to win and they don't acknowledge you doing that for them in that moment, to me personally, as someone who's had to go through like I'm the check-in friend, like I've had to teach myself like, was I doing that so that when they got up, like I could get some recognition, or do I just care about that person and whether they acknowledge it or not, they winning? Because that's all I cared about to begin with. And
that's true. And I agree with that. We're saying the same thing, right? What I'm saying is like that person, whoever we're talking about, needs to win, right? It could be anybody. Whoever comes and check on me, right? I need to win when they checking in on me because it makes whatever you're asking me because you directly care about me feeling better. I need to win in this situation.
Exactly.
I work a thankless job all day long, so I know what it's like in terms of like doing that. Like I don't do nothing. Nothing I do is for self-gratification, although it may seem that way, like the way I come across and things. But again, that's like, I don't have a single friend, bro, where like we don't get our shit off in a competitive like way, or like it's just cultural. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to explain it. You know what I mean? There's a leg up. When I start roasting you, what do? Back get against the court, motherfuckers start throwing the haymakers, and something land, right? So it's like it's just the culture of what I'm used to is that, and there's a time and a place for everything, and when that is, I've fallen on the sword in situations, and I've let people treat me a certain way in situations for the better outcome of all players. Again, I'm not foreshadowing anything. I'm just telling the truth of who I am. Like I literally, like when I go to work and I talk to my like the people underneath me, I'll be like, yo, let me be the bad guy in this situation, right? Because you have a direct relationship with this person or whatever, and I don't necessarily give a fuck how I come across because I probably won't need to talk to them again. As a matter of fact, they would probably want to deal with you before they deal with me, and that's what we need in the first place. Like, we come from a generation, like my mom and your mom is, I don't think your mom is so much like that. My mom is, though, where they be like, where's your manager? Fam, try to work it out with the worker first. you trying to shoot you some grace. You think the manager going to help? They about to laugh about this shit in the back room together when we done. You know I'm not
just because your mom's not like a Karen, ironically.
Yeah.
But she has... She doesn't want to be bothered. I think it's because she's been in management. The second is just she doesn't follow what you think is protocol. She's like, let me just get the motherfucker I need to like get this done.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like, oh, she's angry at the worker. No, she has no patience. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Once it's not done,
Apple don't fall far.
yeah, like once she doesn't, like once she feels like she loses confidence in your ability to perform at work. She just wants the person who's in charge of you.
Yeah. And
Which I can respect to a certain degree.
I'm all right, yeah, but the way you be asking is like, yo, I also want them to get in trouble for a little bit for wasting my time.
You know what the funniest thing when your mom does this is she'll have like her tone, and then when she asks for the manager, she puts her white people voice on. But it's but it's like low key threatening the way that she puts her white people, like, because she's not like riled up, yelling, being ghetto or anything. But she gets real calm when she asks for the manager, and it's way scarier than her just being whatever like level of aggression. She
had a handicap sticker. That shit crazy now,
bro. A lady,
as she's gotten older,
and a walker.
Yeah. Had a handicap sticker and a walker.
And we're gonna start talking. Hey, can we have a real conversation?
Let's hear it.
I was thinking about this. Our grandmother passed almost about a year ago.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But towards the end, she was very disgruntled and voicing her discrepancies about things. I think we need to start acknowledging that old people are starting to crash out, and they crash out just as much as the YNs do. They just don't have weapons, because old people, they hit an age, and like, I don't know if you've ever been like around one of your friends like grandparents, and they have to warn you, and they have to. She
seemed more, like you said, she did seem more angry at shit with all.
Like, you ever had like a friend be like, "Hey, my grandpa's here, just let it go." And it's not like a racial thing. It's like, he's just an asshole now for some reason. And I feel like old people get to an age, and I'm starting to see it like more and more, because people around me are getting older. I'm like, oh yeah, like they don't have patience anymore.
A lot of them are depressed though too.
Oh no, it's they're projecting, but at that age, that's self. There's nothing to look forward to. Why become a better person?
And my mom also said this earlier that had me like thinking, where it was like, I can't protect myself no more. And I said, oh, that's what it is too. Like, like animals in the wild, like get real big, but like, bro, you're a peacock, chill. Bro, chill, man. Get out of here. I am a tiger. If you don't get out my face with these big ass bright colors trying to get big, but you're right. Like, I think about that shit, and then the tail end of her going, it was the last Thanksgiving before she passed. This is what really hit me. She pulled me in close. I never told y'all this. She pulled me in close and was like, "Hey, the door locked?"
Bro, you don't remember Grandma?
I said, wait, what? She said, go check if the door locked. We was in the backyard, and she was like, yo, you make sure the door is locked. I said, ain't nobody coming up in here right now.
Bro, I love my girl to death. It's the only person I do this for. I had to sleep at the house multiple times because your mom walked in there, and Grandma had a knife underneath her pillow.
Yeah, see?
Hey, but this is one thing I will always respect about my grandma. When she thought that she couldn't protect herself, she still wasn't going out soft. Yeah. She was ready. She was like, oh, I live by myself. She's not going to just let it happen.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
I tell you what, who you let walk through the door first?
Miles, every time. Always my little brother. Always. Because don't let...
It's your favorite.
My grandmother's...
It's your favorite.
I stand by this. All my cousins know I believe I was my grandmother's favorite grandchild, but I also know her singing wasn't the best.
You know what's funny? Also, I picked her up from. I picked them up when they came back from DC that last trip, and this is when I found out that like sundowners is a real thing.
I used to think it was fake. I thought I thought dementia was real, but I'm like, sundowners can't be real.
Dog, I picked her up. She know my mom. She knew my dad. She forgot she went on the trip and everything. But we get on the 94, and we on the way back, where she stayed at the time. We get on the 94, and she's like, sir, I've been with them all week. She's like, just take me home, and you could drop them in their bags off. I said, damn, she think I work for Amtrak. like, she really think I fucking work for Amtrak right now. No, like, that's a crazy thing.
The one that got me, for a little background, our grandmother lived in the same house for almost like 20 years, and then she moved into like a different spot, not too far from where she lived. But do you remember when this is so funny, it's like right during the pandemic, and there's a follow-up story to this, but our grandmother they were arguing with her to get her license taken away. The state had taken it away, then she wouldn't pass the test again, and she refused to give it up. And this is when I realized sundowners was real. She insisted on driving herself somewhere, and she went there, and then it started getting dark. It was like 4:45. It started getting dark. She got lost. She was a mile away from her house and had been driving in circles forever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that's funny. I went to a baby shower that same day. I was going to call out of work anyway, but my mom had said, because they couldn't find her for like an hour. My mom goes, "Oh, we lost your grandma." And I was like, "What do you mean you lost her? You can't find her?" She goes, "Yeah. I might need you to come home so we can like try to figure out where she's at, because she has the car. She doesn't know where she's at. She didn't have 5 of my friends." I called my job because I was going to call it anyway and be like, just think of some bullshit excuse at the time. I go, "Hey, we lost my grandma." My boss goes, "Hey, don't even worry about it. You can come in when da da da." I'm not thinking much of it. They find her about 25 minutes later. I go to the baby shower. It's cool. I go to work, or he calls me the next day. He says, "Hey, you can have the day off too." I'm thinking I'm about to get fired for calling out. I get to work 2 days later. I didn't realize that the way I said, "Oh, we lost my grandma," he thought she had passed. Which I was and then I started dying laughing because I had to explain to him that she had her license when she shouldn't have.
Yeah,
and she literally was lost.
Yeah. Hey, man.
But he's like,
take another day if you need it.
Bro, he
went around telling people, yeah, he lost a family member.
And that's the thing. Like, one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, my bad, Zoe, condolences." I'm like, "Oh, I lost my job," because they talked to me. I saw my coworker before I went to go talk to my boss. He's like, "Oh, can we talk to you in the office real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah." My coworker, my other one walks by and goes, "Hey, condolences." And I was like, "Damn, like I definitely am getting fired for calling out one time. That's crazy." Like, you know? And he's like, "Hey, about the other day, like, sorry about the situation." Like, being really nice, like, really cool, like, not breaking any, like, professional lines, but just being like, "Hey, like, if you want to talk about it in that regard, like, you can talk about it if you need to miss more work because of it." This man really thought she died, and I had to sit there with
tell the whole story all
tell
over
the
again.
whole face, like, "No, she got lost." And he looked at me, he goes, "So did you find her?" That's
it's like, well, yeah, I did. Absolutely. I wouldn't be here if we didn't.
That shit was so funny. I just remember sitting there and just being like, I gotta watch how I word things, even though I think that was the way to word it.
That is the right word. Absconded.
Absconded.
She absconded. I mean, it's gonna be a while before we have another situation like that. So it's like, it's not like, we had like a lot of practice. Knock on wood. But yeah, man. Shit, that's another thing, right? You bring that up, right? It's like this whole time, life keep happening.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I am tired. You know what I mean? Legitimately, like, this ain't got nothing to do. It's not with nobody. I was telling Jay earlier today when she's like, "Oh, don't say that." I was like, "Nah, I'm beat." You know what I mean? Like, and I wouldn't have it no other way. But also, it's like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it the way that I want it to be done. That's why the audio quality is the way that it is. That's why this room looked the way it is. The reason why we picked the guests out. And I'm just beat. You know what I mean? It's like, at some point, I would love to watch Sunday night football games, and then go back to playing fantasy football, doing my shit or whatever. And it's like, the time that I got right now, I can't. Anyway, what's up with you? We'll figure that out as time goes on. I don't know.
I'm just here, dealing with what I got to deal with. Trying to get I've straightened out a few things in my life since last time I've been here, getting my finances a little bit better, trying to figure out what I got going on. My friends are still getting married and having babies, and it is making me go bankrupt. So
you're a good friend. I be missing shit.
I got a bachelor party in 3 weeks. I got to go to Mexico.
Oh yeah,
17 of us.
You got some tough friends. At 31, I was tired.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, like I have energy still, right? Like I said, I think I can still go out. You tell your story about being up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning the other day. I was like, man, that sounds painful. I was like, if I didn't have kids, I can do it.
I think it's also different though for me. Like, I work at a job that closes at like 11:30, so like being up till 2, like, not necessarily out doing things. Like, I can just be at the homie's house, we're sitting down like this, just drinking beer, watching TV, whatever. But I'm not turning off my brain at like 12:30. Like, it's just physically impossible at that point. Like,
yeah.
Like, I worked a double yesterday. I was at work for 11 hours. Like, it's like impossible. Like, I'm not just gonna. My body might be shut down, but like, I have to constantly be thinking of like, what do I have to do next? What do I have to do next? What do I have to do next at work? It's kind of hard to just shut it off at some point.
Right.
So yeah. So I think it's just different. I mean, I'm not really doing all that much. I'm glad we're podding today. But like, yeah, just I'm living life in the most expensive city in America.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm San Diego poor,
That's
which
a real
tells
thing.
me that I'm Delaware rich. But
yeah, you told me. You told me that I forgot now. I just lost. Oh, you told me that story about your peoples, and you was telling me how much they was paying in rent, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. Because even that number, I'd balk at right now. Like I'm locked in at 2019 prices, or 2020 prices. I was like, yo, what you said, that was a new number that I've heard out here. And I didn't even ask what part of Dago they lived at. When you said it, I was like, yo.
Yeah, no, the issue, yeah.
It's crazy out here, so. All right, man. Let's get into the pod, man. Let's see. What do I want to hit first? Fuck it. Random shit to fill in time. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. I can hear a little pop noise. If someone was gone for the first 3 years of a child's life because they didn't feel ready, that they didn't feel ready, don't you feel like they should be given an opportunity? Tough one.
Okay.
Oh, this is right up the alley we were talking about?
We're gonna talk about a real... this sounds great. We're gonna talk about a real fucked up double standard here.
All right, here we go. Let's hear it.
And I believe this. I believe there's a lot of double standards, and I believe the world should have double standards. I think certain people should get away with certain things, and some people shouldn't.
Ledge.
I'll jump off this one. If being a single mother is the hardest job in the world, and we praise single mothers, we build them up on Father's Day, we speak about every time someone gets drafted, and we talk about how hard their mom worked, and no one's allowed to bat an eye, and I agree with them. I also do believe that if you're a mother and you leave your child and the father is the one raising them, he has the right to tell you specifically, because of how hard we raise we build up the other side of that you cannot come back. Like, if you're a single dad, now I'll say this though, and this sounds messed up, the emphasis that we put on fathers in children's lives, and we've seen a lot of relationships crumble because the father may want to leave and do other things. If you're a single mother and the dad leaves, and for whatever foreseen reasons why he had to leave, and that stands for the mother too, don't get me wrong, if he wants to come back, I think that because we hold not having a father in your life to such a it's a very pivotal thing. Like there's a lot of things that we say are dictated in someone's lives by not having a father. It's probably more it would make more sense to allow the father back, but I'm saying this on the mother side, that's probably more of a petty answer on my regard
of not letting
her back in. It's probably more petty. But like the father one, I just feel like you can't say like it's so hard to be a single mom and that fathers are like not having a father is so detrimental that if he wants to come back and you don't let him, it just seems like it contradicts itself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm of the belief where we always say like kids need their dad in their life, right? And I'm trying to figure out why.
Hey, we stand by this. We're at that age. You've heard me say this with the homies. Oh, it sounds fucked up. We look at certain men and we go, oh, he wasn't raised with his dad in the house.
Right. And
you can tell.
You can't, but that's okay. So, but now we hitting somewhere. Because my thing is like, yo, what is it that the fathers offer? And here's the other thing we don't ask, right? What is it that mom knows she can't offer that a dad can't? And that acknowledgement and saying exactly what we can and cannot provide, I need women to start saying. Sounds very chauvinistic, but like, let's get this off.
And here's the thing. If a woman wanted to have this same conversation on the other end, I would completely understand it.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to say you have the soft touch.
Yeah.
You have the ability to listen on the emotional level.
You're more naturally nurturing.
Yes. I'm going to cut to the fucking chase. You know what I mean?
You know what's so funny? I've never met a man who predominantly had his mother in his life that ever learned how to correctly let shit go. And I'm not saying women are petty, but what I mean is like, I think sometimes also there's an overcorrection when you're a male being raised by your mother, and she wants you to be the man that your father isn't, and it makes you kind of an asshole in the process. Like, I stand by this. The machismo, not saying specifically Hispanic people, but just like the term machismo, I believe it's definitely built in from your mother. Your dad might have it, but your mom's the one who like
reinforces.
Me and my boys talk about this all the time, like because we have to check some of our friends about stuff, and then we see how they are with like the grandmother is with the grandson, or like how his mom is with the younger brothers and stuff. And I'm like, the machismo is enforced by your mother. It's your father's standard, but it's enforced by the mother.
Right.
Because now she's telling you what the standard of like how a male is supposed to be. Your father's going to sit there and try to balance that out and be like, hey, I know your mom thinks that this is what a real man is, but like, you only got to do that shit when she's around. Like,
do you feel like you the same as your dad?
Hell no.
Do you feel like your brother is?
I think we have traits from him. I think we have good and bad traits.
What do you think traits you? All right, well, let me jump out on this last with you. My mom always like, she told me the other day, yesterday, she's like, you're just like your dad. You get angry like him. I said, I feel like this is transference, right? Like, I was like, there's a difference in how I handle shit, and there's a difference in terms of how he handles shit. I feel like there's a little bit of transference about some shit y'all got going on, but for the sake of this, I'll fucking go for this ride.
You're projecting right now. Yeah,
there we go. That's the word.
I think I'm like my dad, where I get along with people, but truthfully, like I had one of my homies. He told me, he said I'm a fake extrovert. Like I get along, like, and I think it was genius. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. He called me. He straight up said, "Zo, you're a fake extrovert."
That's funny, and that's the title. That's funny.
And here's the thing, and you'll know this. Like, you know me. Like, I'm a sad boy. I'll sit in my room for 3 days. I don't give a shit. Like, he said, you go out, everyone knows you. You're cool. Yada yada. You shake hands, kiss babies, act like you're having a good time. But the whole time you're out, you're like, damn. I would love to just be at home right now.
Just chilling, not bothered by nobody, not looking at my phone. So I think like in that regard, my dad's 100% like that. Like I think people assume my dad has all these friends. This will just be at home chilling, kicking it, like just enjoying himself, like not doing too much. I try to avoid. I know some of the negative traits of my father, like where his temper can be, and I've always made a point to not be that same person.
Yeah, because I know I'm very petty, but I'm petty for the reason of I can't have things bottle up. If I let things bottle up, I can have that anger. So I need to release them sporadically to not hold shit in. Because like my brother does carry my dad's like temper a little bit more than me. Like he gets like it's a lot easier to like rile like him up.
Yeah.
And once he's there, he's staying there forever. He has a messed up mood for the rest of the week. Like he's not coming out. I love him to death, but he is like. Once he's there, you can't talk him off that ledge.
And he can fight now, so it's like...
Exactly, bro.
You really can't say that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I tell him all the time, you can win. That's fine.
I know. I'm sure you do. I don't feel like losing today, though. That's the thing. It's a random Wednesday at 3 p.m., bro. You got it, big dog.
You know what? I
don't feel like losing today.
And I feel like you're an only child, but I feel like every older brother who has a big younger brother will explain this to you. I tell him all the time, you come at me crazy, I will go to jail. I will turn your stomach to the Staples Center. I promise you. And if you don't know what that means, you Google it.
Look, I've heard it. I'm glad I've escaped it. There's certain things. Hey, I won't even go down that road right now. We ain't gonna even cause that type of divide. I think that like with my dad, I have bro's temper, but I'm smarter about it. Here's what we have to acknowledge. Our dads is definitely smarter than they dads, and they probably hit a level of maturity in life.
I hear the stories about my grandfather, and I'm like, okay, so you're not actually like
but it's the time period thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like I know right now that I'm probably a little bit more educated than my dad is, right? So it's like I accept the fact.
I also think that it comes off like every generation of men, they keep saying like, oh, we're not like traditional men and all that stuff. And I always think it's the funniest thing in the world when women say that, or just men in general say that, like, oh, you're a beta male, because it goes into like, I think us not having tempers goes into us actually understanding how to express ourselves and process emotions. Because like,
don't get me wrong, I get a mean streak. Go ahead.
I would love for this to be like the 70s. I just smack the shit out of somebody every day. Like, I don't think people understand.
Jive, motherfucker.
I would be at 82 smacks a day.
Like, 82 smacks is crazy.
I regularly think about it's like, I don't think people understand.
82 smacks is crazy.
I don't think, like, my close friends know this because they see my face. They like the amount of times during the day I really think like, if I just think there's a certain way you talk to people and you should carry yourself, and if you don't do it a certain way, you should be allowed to get punched in the mouth. And I really feel like if we walked around this earth, okay, you want to know what your father's job was? We were talking about earlier. You know what a father's job is to do?
What is that?
To humble you. And to teach you what the repercussions of certain things are. Because you've heard us say this too.
There is a time where you're not going to take that info no more.
No, but it's fine though. But I'll say this. You've heard this. You've heard me and my little brother say this. You can tell who's never been punched in the face before.
Yeah.
And I feel like your father's job is to, like, as you mature and grow, is to metaphorically punch you in the face a little bit. Like, in the sense of, like, letting you know there's repercussions. Letting you know, like, hey, yeah, just because you feel this way doesn't mean you need to respond this way, because there are repercussions to how
That's
this
true
is.
in the animal kingdom, too.
Yeah, like, you know, like, don't get me wrong.
Like,
you got to let your
wrestling?
kid get hurt to find out.
I think of this little dog that they had on Instagram where the little puppy, dad was turned the other way and he bit him on the nutsack and he turned around and he was like, oh shit, I ain't know bro had reflexes like that. Like, so I get what you say. Go ahead though.
No, that's why, like, that's what you need. Like, there's a certain way that, like, and depending on, and don't get me wrong, everybody has a different father. I'll say fathers, just like mothers, come in variety, shapes, and sizes. Not everybody is qualified to be raising a child, you know? But I think in this conversation we're talking about more of the better ones, at least, or he bettered himself, which is why he's trying to come back into the life of the child, you know what I mean? Or he's trying to get off child support. We're going to talk about those guys too. But, yeah, like, the job is, like, you have to add value in the, I think my dad's best, the best parenting he's done is, though he never admits he's wrong, is admitting a change of mind of things. Like, when I was younger, I had to go to therapy a lot. I had a lot of issues. He was adamantly against it in the house, like, openly, like, not necessarily insulting me, but calling it a waste of time, money, all types of stuff. And then when I was, like, 14 and not as messed up, he looked at me, he was like, no, it was good that you went. It worked. Like, that was, like, thinking about, like, oh, he humbled himself. Hearing him talk crazy like that, and then being like, you know what, that was actually a good thing. Like, that's, like, you get that, like, to see someone who's so stern and so sure of themselves, but can still mature and grow, and, like, it teaches you the process of life. Like, you always have to mature and grow. You need that from your father. Because I feel like your mother does it a different way. Not saying a woman doesn't do that, but they do it a different way.
Yeah, I mean, I think... it's a leggy.
You're saying you're a little PC. You're a PC it up.
I don't know if I can, because it's just a certain me considering myself a straight male and hanging around other straight males, and I've also been around. You know, I got gay friends and shit too.
No, I like to tell you. You consider yourself? So is there room? Is there wiggle room here?
No, I'm saying I consider myself a straight male. Like.
Wouldn't it be me as
I'm just identifying myself as a straight male. There we go.
Hey, if there's wiggle room, I mean, that's cool.
I know myself to be a straight male.
There we go.
Is that a better word? I consider. You can probably think I'm gay as hell.
I'll just
Someone
say,
else can be like, yo.
When you got 2 colleges left, you're considering each school.
Look, if you saw me and Carl hanging out one day, you probably think I was gay. I consider me to be, straight male is what I'm saying.
Damn, you being Carl's bear is crazy.
I don't know, though. This dude's my size that like being bottoms. Look, I've had enough conversations with him where I was like, you know what, man? This is a wild conversation.
Is that like the gay version of, like, the Little Spoon? Like, you ever been the Little Spoon?
No. Yeah. I'm tripping.
I was gonna say, you've never been a Little Spoon?
That was like bravado that answered first. Like, I ain't even lie.
No, I've never had a woman hug me from behind.
I felt disrespected when you asked me. I was like, nah. The fuck you talking about?
Hey,
and then media trained me and trained me, kicked in like, nah, I've been there.
Actually, you know what, ladies, you're right. Don't let that man back in that child's life. Look how trashy he is.
Look how trashy he is. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that every guy is gonna be like the perfect match, and for also acknowledge that, like, men, we don't have it figured out, but I think that's okay.
100%.
Like, it's okay that you don't like as I've gotten older, that's what I learned, is that my dad didn't always have it figured out. Me being a father myself, it's like my daughter be asking me questions. Shit, Chris asked me the other day, actually today, as his stepdad, he was like, yo, who filled the ocean? I said, motherfucker, I don't have an answer to that. Like, I don't know what to give you. And I was like, yo, when he asked me, I was like, I'm sure I've gotten shit off like this before. And it's like, yo, it's okay to let them know that, like, yo, you're not going to have all the answers.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. That's a fire question, though.
It is. And I'm sure we've asked something like that. You know what I mean? And then you realize how the world works. You have your own thought processes on it and shit. But I think that like the role of a dad helps shape you from, you know, one lens, and a mom helps shape you from one lens, or just having two parents in general, right?
Yeah, I think that, and yeah, because you know there's a lot of same sex couples and stuff like that. I think to your point, I think just having two parents in the household in general
With two different perspectives.
yeah, exactly, which is like, yeah, I think that's definitely one of the more beneficial environments. But I was thinking this right now, randomly. And back to double standards, and I think this is a wild one, but I never thought about it till today. You know how they always say, like, oh, you can be a bad husband, but he's a good dad? I've never heard someone say, oh, she's a shitty wife, but she's a good mom. I've never heard that before in my life. And I'm not saying that.
You're saying like in that context.
Like in that context, like I've heard tons of women be like,
men don't complain like that though.
Yeah, you know what? That's why. Because I've heard tons of, and I'll say this: the women who say this,
the homie did hit me with that recently.
I'll say this on the women who say that. I think are some of the most humble people in the world, because it tells me they really do only care about the kid in that factor. They're like, yeah, we're not together. He was a horrible husband, but he's a great dad. Like I respect the fact that they compartmentalize it enough to see the separate sides of that man. But like, yeah, I never heard a man be like, oh, I can't stand my, like, I've heard men say, I married her because she'd be a good mother. And maybe that is this equivalent.
Motherfuckers be wrong, too.
They'd be dead wrong. But
they'd be wrong, too.
I've heard a lot of guys, like, there's a whole thing, this is so random. There's a whole thing I've seen on the internet where a lot of men have claimed to cheat after their wife has given birth because they feel like the type of sex that they were having previously to the kid, they can't do to the mother of their child. They can't get in their bag like that. And I don't think it's right, but I can understand the idea of it. I don't think I'm going to be that guy by any means, but I'm like, I don't think, I see people on the internet calling like BS, but I do think there's like a level of like honesty to that conversation. Like, I don't think every guy who says that is actually lying. I think there's a majority of them that actually like kind of get, because you know some men see the pleasure of childbirth and it scars forever.
I believe that. I just think that it's a weak cop out.
Oh, I think it's
this
true,
shit really not
but
that
it's
bad.
the truth,
it's no
though.
different from what happens. What's happening there is no different. I don't want to be there for your monthly. I'm sure that is a scene. You know what I mean? Like that will change how I like. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like that particular. I get it. Like that dudes, and I've seen it. I've seen dudes act different. You know, shit. But I also feel like dudes be all like, it's hard. Monogamy is hard in the beginning.
I think so.
It is.
I feel like this.
Like if I told you right now that the last girl that you was with was going to be the last one you was going to be with for the rest of your life, at some point y'all was on a good up and up, and you probably even questioned to yourself, like, how would this work? How can I get there? There's some type of fucking anxiety you're going to hit.
No, take me back. Don't listen to what he's saying.
I'm not mad at that. I told my wife I had anxiety the night before. Like, I was sure when I asked you. We were at the Coronado. We had all this shit. We didn't live together for years. But I'd be wrong if I didn't tell you that, like, yo, I didn't think, like, is this really it? Because you know why? You meet other men. The guy that I was talking about yesterday with Corey, he openly admitted, this is how you know shit was too much. Motherfucker was like, yeah, me and my wife broke up 2 months ago. Bro, we're at a kids event, man. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit you talking about. But he hit me with something that was weird. At the end, I was laughing to myself. I was like, so you just having a hard time? He was like, actually, no. I'm not. He's like, she is, right? As he's drinking these Konas, right? He's like, nah, she is. He was like, every night I got about 5 of them that want to hit me up and go somewhere, right? And I said, damn, this is a dude that lives out in Carmel Mountain, nice fucking house, 80,000 BMW car or whatever. He got 2 kids and an ex-wife or whatever, but he's living the fucking, for him, quote-unquote, dream when he said I do to this lady at some point.
He's sad. He's sad as hell.
He lying to himself, yes. Because you're taking care of 2 little girls by yourself
he just has new freedom. He actually doesn't even like the freedom. He just likes that the
idea of the freedom.
Exactly. Like, my friends have been in long-term relationships. We've talked about this on the pod before. A lot of my friends are getting married this year. A lot of them been like 5 to 10 year plus long relationships. I think like some of them, I don't think any of my boys are capable of cheating. I think what would be the argument is like they just like losing the freedom to just go outside. You know what I mean? I think that would kill some of them. Like just understand, like, sometimes I'm just gonna tell you I'm doing something instead of asking to do it. And I think that's just innate, like, that's just in men, period.
Yeah, but do they, like, they own houses together?
I mean, different.
Or do they rent together?
People have different situations. So, yeah.
Look, because I'm telling you, the game, any woman that says that I'm lying right now, y'all tripping. Because any dude I know that, like, wife is on, like, a car, a house, you know, like on your shit when you die, they about to start talking to you different. You get what I'm saying?
That's, you know,
bro, because it's no longer really a relationship at that point. It's a relationship.
It's a business deal.
Yeah, it's a business relationship. Like, how you think you talk to your business partner?
Hey, I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm not getting in a relationship with nobody's gonna talk to me like they Def Jam.
You don't know that. Look,
you're not gonna talk to me like I'm in a 360 deal.
You know my best homie, right? I ain't gonna say anybody's name or nothing like that, but you know my really good homie. Motherfucker used to say the same shit too. But when them kids start coming out, yo, and you up at 1 o'clock, who are you talking to? Motherfucker just watching a soccer match. Chilling. You know, I know you with these bitches. What? I am chilling right now. Throwing a fit. You got scratches on you. What?
No, see here.
I took a shower.
See, that's
I got my skin is sensitive. Right? And it's like, yo, this was the nigga that said he wouldn't put up with this shit. She got a few more of these. It went from I never tolerated she only got a few more.
No, here's the thing. I'm not saying those. These are women. We got that comes with the territory. What I was more pertaining to is like you can't women have insecurities as anyone does in a relationship. And when they voice them, they all gonna voice them differently. Some are a little bit more, some attack you, some of them hold you accountable for shit they ain't got nothing to do with you. Some of them cry and freak out and they own it in their own sense. You know what I mean? It all comes out different stuff. That's not the issue I have. The issue I'd be is like, hey, me and the fellas are going to go do this. No, you're not. I just told you what the fuck I'm about to do. That's what my issue would be. If you want to think I'm cheating and I'm not, that's never going to bother me. Because you're never going to get me angry about something. I ain't done. It's physically impossible. I promise you this.
Nah, but the disrespect, though, is like when you think about it, when you got kids and shit, and you just there in the trenches.
That's true. By yourself.
And the young kids, and you're like, yo, I don't have the audacity. You see how I be looking. And because when I see you wouldn't even recognize him. He looked like John. I said, you think this man is out here getting some great? And then my wife, like he called me yesterday, and I told my wife, I said, you know, these chicks don't want me. I got two kids. I said, and you plan A. Plan A get all my retirement. Plan A got a house. Plan A got cars and shit, her own business or whatever. Like they if they are sticking around, it's because they want to become Plan A at some point. But once they do not become Plan A, they're gonna try to wreck my shit up or not fuck with me in the first place.
No, or you're both just each other's Plan B. Never think about that. Because if you marry somebody else's plan, if your Plan B was someone else's Plan A,
you're each other's Plan B because someone is mad at their Plan A.
But that's what I'm saying. Like your girl's Plan A. Lord forbid something happened. She set up like this.
Oh, but his argument was that that quality of woman who's the Plan B isn't top quality.
Oh, here's the thing. She comes with her own. She comes with her own baggage, but she's probably less stressful.
Yeah, because we banking on the fact that she got a Plan A at home.
Hey, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I'm cool. There's nothing in here. But that's the thing. Like, yo, like if you doing it, and this is what I was telling her, I was like, yo, if you doing it right, like me, right now, and other men that I know, you don't have time for that. I got baseball practice. It's either vagina or the gym if I'm going to cheat. And I love going to the gym. I love going to the golf course. I love going to the golf course so much that the story that you got off where somebody was going to work a shift and all this other shit, I was like, fam, that's crazy to me because hitting a golf ball is better than coming to me. Yo, you ever hit a golf ball off the center of the face and it go where you wanted it to go? Look at your face right now. The nostalgia hit you. You said something that I just don't believe you believe. What's that?
That hitting a golf ball is better than coming.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you right now.
I think you just have kids and you know the repercussions of coming.
No.
If I
felt that way back then.
If I had kids and I realized every time I do this, that's a possibility. I love my little cousin Duff. She's precious. I love Chris too. But what I'm saying is, once again, back on the father. You're a father now. You understand repercussions.
So when you hit a ball off the center of the face, how'd you feel? And it went the way you wanted to go. How many times have you done that in your life?
I've hit an eagle before.
No, I get it. How many times have you hit a ball off the center of a driver or an iron, 120 yards, 200 yards out, and that shit go where you want to and it make the right sound?
Better question. One for you. How many times have you pulled up in the DM saying her face card looks like 3 a.m. ice water and it works?
That shit, but again, I don't know, bro. Maybe because I'm just like my libido getting whack or whatever. But like that shit is just whatever.
I'll say this, but here's
women
the thing.
come with problems. People come with problems in general.
I think it's the same thing. It's the idea of the chase. Like I worked for this, it worked out. When you throw that Hail Mary, and I'm not a DM slider, but when you even in the club or something, you throw that Hail Mary. And it works.
That's the other thing too.
It's the same. Like, I think it's the same part of your brain.
I feel like you work at a job where you get chased. At least
I get offered. As it's been offered.
It may not be quality that you like.
And also, I will say this: I don't give off the energy of like I want you to talk to me outside of my work. Like even the customers. Like I'm gonna be happy.
Women like that even more. Shit, motherfucker, stay to himself. Who you talking to? Look,
nobody. I prefer my tables to be family than like 3 bad chicks. Like that's I don't want it. I don't want what comes with it. I don't want any like. I want to see mom, dad, grandma, and 2 kids. We're about to have a great family time. I'll bring some Sundays.
I feel you, man. I get it. It's an opportunity thing. I don't meet too many guys like that I hang around with though. Like there's. I don't trust a man with that much energy. If you're my age, I turned 31 this year, and you didn't just get out of a long-term relationship, because I'll give some grace to that, and you're out here in these streets. Like I got a homie, and he's like a year younger than me, and he's outside. And I've known him for a while. I was like, dude, I can't understand why he's been outside like this. That's how my Asian friend is.
But I found out. My boy did 3 years. And he got out in the middle of the pandemic, so he's making up for lost time, because even when he got out, it was the middle of the pandemic. He couldn't even go back outside like that. I said, all right, you get grace to 33. Like everyone else, I expected to stop doing this at 30.
Nah, because even when I'm telling you about, like, he's on a run of all runs right now, and he got
I'll say this, some dudes just got the dog in them. Hey, R.I.P.
But he was in relationships for like 20 to 30.
Yeah, but keep this in mind. What's my man's name? Who just passed away? The boxer.
Oh, George Foreman.
Hey, some
kids. Don't he got like 10 kids?
Yeah, but some people love to chase. George Foreman lost his belt at 25 to Muhammad Ali. He went back at 45 and won the belt again. Some guys can't ever leave the game. Some people love the game.
Jordan came back twice. I don't love the chase, man.
Isaiah Thomas is in the G League right now.
I do not love the chase. Do I got one more? Let's do one more. Would you befriend? Do I want to do that one? Let's do this one. I feel like you got a lot of homegirls in this, and this will reach the younger demographics.
We are 3 years apart.
Yeah, but you got you more closer. I know what it was like because I still had single homies at 31.
Yeah,
so
I am the single homie.
Single meaning not even married and shit. So
I'm a permanent uncle. My uncle mode is crazy.
Is it weird to wear a ring if you're not married or in a relationship?
Like just in general, like as an accessory?
Yeah, as an accessory. So I got a homie. He's married now, but he was really walking around with a ring on. I was like, this motherfucker not really married. Then I found out later on he actually did get married.
Was it the only accessory on this man's wrist? Like wrist?
Yeah, a watch.
Nah, I'm talking bracelets.
Nah, he's not a jewelry guy.
If you wear jewelry, like
what dudes you know that wear a ring on their finger though? Because I don't even.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? Dude, they're not gonna be in on it. Oh boy, I was telling you about that did that wild shit.
Yeah,
jewelry guy.
He don't even look like he is.
He is a jewelry guy, so it makes a little bit more sense though.
But are they married?
No.
And he wears one on his hand?
No, he's just a jewelry guy. Like ring. So also, you're asking me this, when you say rings, I'm meaning, like, some guys have like the skull ring, and you're talking just a band, just a banded ring?
On your married finger.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you.
You know any dudes that, so
you know what's funny? One of my I'll say this because he's about to, my manager at work, a guy that's how I'm saying, I'm pretty sure he wears a ring and he's not married yet. He's been engaged. He's getting married this year. but he wears a ring. And I was thinking this actually a couple months ago because I was like, I don't think he's married. Like, he refers to her as his fiance, but he wears a ring.
He a good looking dude?
I like my manager at work a lot. I'm not going to talk about whether I think he's a good looking dude or not.
Why not?
Because, every time I don't every time I think nobody sees this podcast, I'm quoted and put on this podcast. I have gotten worse text about this pod than when
why the fuck you wait till now?
I had someone. So you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
I'm about to clip that up.
I'll say, you know what's crazy? I said something on this pod about women like 2 years ago. Every time I come here, I feel like you send me up to bash women. I hate it.
Fuck.
I got more comments about that than when Travis told the story about him coming on a party bus at 17. That shit on my other pod. Because I come over here thinking I could be like fake introspective and get some shit off, and no one's gonna hear it. This is like my clubhouse pod.
Oh, they believe this is you,
bro.
That's funny.
When I was on Young in the Wash, I could say shit, and like everyone's like they could like, oh, and good fun. I come over here, people feel like it's a different environment.
It's like, yo, that topic was so fucking serious.
Bro,
that's crazy,
bro. Yeah, so I'm not gonna comment on other males' looks at this way, but
But my only the reason why I asked that,
the reason why I brought it up is because, and I said about this just along with the idea of marriage and everything in general. If I have already made a decision in my mind that I plan on being with you for the rest of my life, and I've asked you, like in regards like to a fiance, I don't think it's weird that if I ask you to marry me, and the next day I decide to put that band on, like just the band, I don't really think it's that weird because wedding or not, I'm showing you I've already made this commitment in my head. Now, if we're just dating, that's fucking insane. But like, if I've asked you, because my thing about this is, because I'm at that age now, I've gotten this conversation with a lot of my homegirls. Oh, he has X amount of time to ask me to marry you, ask him to marry me. So I'm like, oh, but because he didn't ask you to marry you, even though he shows all the traits of someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, you're going to go and play guess who out there in the world with a whole bunch of dudes you don't know just because you couldn't wait 6 months? Because here's the thing, like, the wedding or not, if he wants to leave, he'll leave. If you don't want to do something, you're not going to do it. I just think, like, people care more about not like the actual lifetime like goal of this sometimes.
Just the aesthetics.
Yeah, the aesthetics of it. I feel like even though a ring is an aesthetic, if I'm wearing this, no one's asked me to wear this, and like it's just part of who I am. I want this to be who I am represented into the world.
Oh, you're talking from her eyes?
No, from his eyes. Like if I'm wearing,
because if I'm your homie, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, no. I'll say this. I'm doing. Yeah, I'll say this. But as the guy doing it, I'm doing this in the sense of letting her know, like I made this commitment whether or not we walk down this aisle.
You would do it?
I will say this. I don't think it's weird. If I plan on spending the rest of my life with
you. I did ask you if you felt like it was weird, but then would you personally do it then? You don't think it's weird. I got that vibe from you.
I'll say this. I think it's weird if you're just in a relationship.
If your homie that we talked about with the master bedroom, right? If he was walking around with a ring on, what you going to say to him?
Well, he did a bunch of shit he didn't know business doing.
No, but I'm just saying, relax.
I would say he was just trying to get her back. But, no.
You would clown him?
Also, I would say this, I would have to know the nature of your relationship. Like my boy who came to go pick up the golf clubs, right?
Yeah.
All right, with his girl who came to go pick up the golf clubs.
Yeah.
They've been together since we were 17 years old. We're 31.
They're already married.
If he just decided to put that on one day, I ain't got shit to tell that man. They've been through ups and downs, lost jobs. She held him down when he went to vocational school. He came back. He's thugging it out, getting a journeyman. She's working they've worked 6 different jobs together. They've got it out the mud. If he wants to throw that on 12 years in, I got nothing to say to him about that.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So I think it's a case by case. If you've known her 6 months,
if you have the sweat equity, yes, I understand that piece.
Because you've already made a decision.
Shit, even 3 years. I'm not like
but if you've known her 6 months and she's 4 months younger than, and she's 4 years younger than you, and she just got out of the liberal arts program, no, bro, don't put that ring on.
Yeah, because I feel like that right there for a man is a nail in the coffin.
See, but that's my thing. Is I can respect the humbling nature of it and the fact that it tells me you're actually more concerned about the lifetimeness of this than the I'll say this, there are people who want to be married, and there are people who want to have weddings. And I think the older I get, the more I see it. Some people fantasize weddings. Some people fantasize being with the person they love forever.
We were just talking about Love is Blind, and I felt like we watched a whole season of women who love the idea of being married, but that we're not prepared for it.
Everybody, like, as I say, all them old, we see all these like things online, like, marriage is dead. What happened to true love? Y'all don't want true love.
Well, women are single men now.
Well, also, in that
they have a lot more power, and I'm not mad at it.
Oh, no.
What I'm saying is, though, they've been able. I've gotten more sensitive homies now that act like the traditional women I knew when I grew up with when they was upset. Like, I know more dudes that are mad because girls are getting their shit off now.
But because also, like, it kind of feels like
we just friends. We just dating.
I also feel like it's kind of because men are the ones, in a sense, being chased a little bit. And we've never been chased. Like, I just think it's just different. You have to understand the game has changed, and you have to adapt to the game. Girl
hit you up and was like, yo, I want to be friends with benefits. You cool with that?
Yeah, but I'm in love, so no. But
no, but
yeah,
even the girl you with now, she was like, yo, I just want to be friends with
you now. I miss you, but
if I were the one that you was with, she said, now she hit you up and said,
no, I couldn't do it.
You get what I'm saying?
I can do it.
Like, come on, but I need that old thing, man. Just let me. I just want that.
No, I'll do that because I was emotionally invested. Once I'm emotionally invested, I can't go back.
Yeah, you can't take a lesser job either.
No, bro, because like
they gonna bring you in on the vet men.
I'm a locker room presence. I'm here to get the young boy. I'm here to get the young boys together.
Being on the vet minimum is crazy.
Don't you ever call me Marcus Morris again. I'm the James Johnson of this shit.
That's crazy.
That's crazy that you just called me Steven Adams.
A 10-day.
I'll slap the shit out of you. Bro, a 10-day is crazy.
A 10-day, yo. Who's our man that be doing? Mac McClung. Nah. Let's go do a dunk contest.
But also, I'm like this. I'm very, like, one, I got feelings for you, and I am kind of petty to a certain degree, and this is probably an issue within itself. Once you tell me you don't like me, you don't get to come back and tell me you like me. Like, I'm never going to be one of those guys who's like, if a woman, like, is like, oh, we need to take a break. I'm not saying, oh, we're going to break up. Like, I'm not one of those guys like, oh, we take a break, we have to break up. If you have doubts, let's work through those doubts. But if you need to work through those doubts without me, then we're not going to work as a relationship in my head because we're supposed to work through things together. If you feel like you need to work through it separately in that regard, then this probably isn't for you. And I'm not even mad at that, but this situation probably isn't going to work for us.
Actually understand a break now living with a woman.
Oh no! I think you need personal space.
Like,
I think there's a difference between a break and personal
break
space.
Is kind of crazy because that's you tell me break,
I'm breaking backs.
Yeah, and you're subject to doing the same.
And that's something else. I don't want you doing what I think I want to do.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
I like because
the number can be 12 verse 1.
No,
I'm still looking at you crazy like, yo, that one is crazy.
No, here's the thing. I'll say this. I'll never. And we're both like, I'm the type of dude, like, I've never asked a woman a body count in my life.
You a better man than me.
I'll say this. I have asked a woman, did you sleep with so-and-so? But that was more of to protect myself in certain environments.
I've asked for ballparks.
Oh, I've never asked that. Because my thing is like this.
I think numbers like, yo, more than 5? After 5, I'm good. Like, anything else is going to be OD.
You know, my thing is like this, like, I'm never going to ask a question I don't want to know the answer to. And I'll say it's the women I've wanted to know that about, I usually just want to sleep with them anyway. It's never crossed my mind a woman I actually have an infatuation with.
He asking for probability.
Yeah.
He said 30? Oh shit, I got a chance. God damn.
Yeah, but like if I actually
it's a wide pool.
If I actually like you, like it's never no woman I've actually genuinely liked.
Has anyone ever asked you your body count?
Yeah.
You tell the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
I tell the truth all the time.
I'm not telling the truth on that.
Bro, first of all, I'm not that cute. I think my body count is I think I've done bro, I have made a veteran career I've made a veteran career off off an undrafted rookie.
I feel like my numbers, even though I feel like my numbers are respectable against the male community, there are women that will look at my numbers and be like, "Yo, that's crazy."
Also, I think it's funny that women judge men's numbers if they're too low. We don't talk about that.
I'm not part of that generation.
If you went outside,
I've been out the game 7 years, and the game is completely changed.
If you went outside of the club right now,
8 years,
and you were 30 years old, and you say you hadn't been like in a long-term relationship in a while, and you told a chick, "Oh yeah, I only got 6 bodies," she'd be looking at you like lame ass nigga.
If you're 31, all right, let's just say, right, if you're 31, and let's say you've been out here since you was like 16. If your number is 30, that's actually not bad.
That's exactly where I'm at.
That's like 2 a year.
Exactly.
But somebody will look at that and judge you, be like, "Yo, that's a crazy number." But 30 is respectable. 2 a year is not bad. That means that I was really trying.
And here's the thing, like, yeah, like
Raphael Sadiq. I was out here singing to you, like.
Yeah, no, and also like, I think there's a difference though too, and I also say it's like, I think there's a difference in how you carry yourself, how women will judge your body count as a male. Like, because there's dudes who have high body counts that have female friends, and there's dudes who have high body counts and they have females around them all the time. Like, I got homies who have a high, like, that's hit everything that's moved except for his homegirls, but I know his girl knows, like, those are his homegirls. Like, the way they act, the way they respond around each other, like, I think when it comes to certain sexual things, the company you keep is a representation of your mentality about the other sex.
I know what type of person we talking about, because who you talking about right now, that's so hard to do. Like, the level of trust and honesty that I have with my wife right now, we didn't always have that, and it had to be proven on speakerphone. No, for real, because, like, yo, anybody that has like, you have to slow your way into telling people that, hey, I am a people's person.
Well, that, and like, also, like, I'll say this, like, years ago, I had slept with one of my homegirls, and I was dealing with a female, and she asked me about it. My homegirl is so much my homegirl, I said I didn't do it. Not because I was lying. I honestly forgot. Because I don't think of her in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, it was a 1 month little thing.
I was going to ask you if you remember every single one.
No, I remember. There's probably like 3 names I don't remember from college.
That's a bunch. I don't.
Yeah. I can find their handles possibly. I can tell you what their Twitter was in 2014. But
I start forgetting just like certain situations I've been in because I'm getting older now.
But here's my point though. Yeah, like, so she asked me there. She's like, "Hey, did you and this?" And also keep in mind, I'm not even really that friends with this person anymore. Or not the girl who asked this, but the homegirl in general. But we're cool, though. We're cool. But I was like, no, I didn't. Like, no, why would I do that? And she was like, well, I know for a fact you did. And I sat there and I was like, oh, shit, I did do that. But it wasn't a lie. I just didn't view her. Like, in all honesty, like, I didn't view her as that anymore. And she couldn't get through her mind that even though it had been like 5 years removed since it had happened, then I didn't view her as that.
Like, it's not significant.
Nah, and it's like this. I love that girl. That's my homegirl. Like, I just don't view her that way. To her, like I'm like every other man. My homegirl's a piece of me. I'm always gonna view her as that. She's always available because she's always around me. I'm like, bro, I want nothing to do with that girl. I know who she is as a person now. Like, and I think it's just hard. I think it's like also men's fault. Like, women project the way that we treat them onto other males. So you have to deal with that at some point, you know. But like, yeah, asking someone their body count is just crazy work though too. Like, if I came to your house and fixed your computer, does it matter if I went to Cornell or ITC Tech?
I don't care.
My experience, like,
I'm gonna be real. You can tell me a number. I think what it is like how I might treat this later on. It's not gonna stop me from. Actually, I think like the times I did ask, I was already locked in.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't gonna make a difference at that point. I think I you be in the house bored sometimes. I was like, yo,
I'll say this, and this could be.
Are we watching TV? This shit just come out. What you got? 30?
I think this is more corny.
I don't ask like that, like as a prerequisite of me.
Oh
dating.
yeah, like
that's what I'm saying. Like it just come up, like.
I'm more.
This is gonna seem very progressive.
Oh, look at you.
No, I know this is gonna be real, but like. I would ask her like questions about like her previous like relationship, or even like how he like her baby dad was when they was together. Not because I give a fuck in terms of like, oh, I got to be better than this dude. It's just like, all right, well, shit, this is, you find out more about other, now we're going to get on something because I'm going to sound crazy if I continue down this rhetoric. You find out more about a man from other women.
Oh, bro.
You find out how they be acting and shit like that or whatever from other women. That lets me know, because like the hard exterior shit that you be on, it's like, dog, that ain't, you not doing that 24/7. That's a defense mechanism. I need to know how you like, outside of all this other bullshit.
Also then, like, niggas who do weirdo shit, the second, say to a female that knows a guy, and you're like, oh, he's weird, he did this, and this. I'll give women credit for this. They will hold a secret till the moment it's right. I had this dude who I didn't rock with. He did something that my homegirl wasn't a big fan of him. The second I let it be known to like one or two other homegirls, 6 of them had a story about this same dude. I said, that's crazy. Y'all didn't start a book club or something? She's like, well, I didn't know about this. I said, well, I'm going to hate this fool forever then. But like, I'll say, I think what I would judge a little more off of, to be honest with you, and it's because where I grew up, there was some overlaps and stuff. There's certain people I'm just not gonna fuck behind. Like, and if the caliber, if you got drunk and smashed some dude that I don't like, that's fine. But if you were regularly in a situationship with somebody who I just think lesser than as like a male, and not like in like, oh, I think I'm like big or short, whatever, but like I think he's a bad person, and you still chose to be around someone like that. That will throw me off more than anybody can.
I don't know nobody now, though.
See, and that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, if there were to be someone like on that list, like, I'll say this: the people of your past are representations of your choices. You know what I mean? I don't care how many guys you slept with, but if they're all scumbags, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, if I get that through like sob stories and shit, it's like, yeah, you were a walking red flag.
Because also, I hate when people are like, oh, they don't talk about the. I always think it's weird when people are like, oh, they never bring up their ex. That's a green flag. Nah, I want to hear how you handled the situation or what led you somewhere. Like also, like, the way you reflect back on past decision making will tell me a lot about you as a person.
Yeah, like you be like, oh, or a girl tell you a story about somebody, a dude, and be like, oh, he's crazy. Be like, that's actually the same response that he had.
And this thing is like, oh, because here's my thing: if it just happened, it's been like 6 months before that happened, and she's still holding on to he's crazy. Cool with me. You tell me about your ex from 3 years ago, and you haven't compartmentalized any of that, and like taking any ownership. You're wildin'.
Yeah, I'm still gonna hit though.
Oh, hey, gots to see it through, my boy.
And that's where they be like, "Ew, you would do?" Yeah, I would. Like, you don't understand. Like, I don't know how to explain that. I know it's a biological thing, man. Like,
hey, 2 things are undefeated: Michael Jordan in the finals, and I still hit in the middle of an argument.
Yeah. You done? Read them in week. For context, my child, who is 10 years old, has not cleaned their room in months. They have been taught to clean it when they were younger and would do it when asked. Now, I need to say that they are ADHD, but is medicated and do other chores and activities without supervision when asked. This person asked, were they in the wrong if they said that they would put their child's belongings in garbage bags because they refused to clean their room. But medicated and do other activities without supervision when asked. Lately, they have refused to clean their room. Their father and I have tried everything from checklists to straight up sitting in their room, even grounding, technology, revocation, and bribing. They still refuse to clean it. As a last-ditch effort, we threatened to throw everything on the floor. They had a week to get it done. Well, tonight I had to go in there and put everything in the garbage bag and set it outside. Now I'm not actually going to throw it away, but they have to earn it back. While doing this, I also found food, dishes, and other items that were prohibited in their bedroom in there. I am tempted to ground them on top of losing their things, but I thought maybe that's going too far. So am I in the wrong for doing this to my child?
No.
I saw a lot of people writing in here that they were in the wrong.
I don't think they're in the wrong. I was that kid for a long time. Like, when my parents stopped making me clean my room from like probably like, it was from like 13 to 16. Before I started like liking girls and trying to sneak them in the house and stuff. I didn't clean my room at all. I hated that shit. I was the same exact way. Bathroom clean, take the trash out, do everything else, but it was like, oh, this is my space. If I don't have to deal with, if I'm fine with this being my spaces like this, I'll deal with it. Now, there's probably other there needs to be some parenting there to explain to them why that's a bad choice and it's a bad habit to have in general. But no, throw that shit in the bags. Make them feel repercussions. Like I don't have kids, but I don't know where we got in society that, oh, you don't do what you're supposed to do, and there's a repercussion. No, you're gonna hurt that child's feelings. That is the real world. If you underperform anywhere else in the world, things are taken away. Sports, work, college. Why would it be any different at home?
Yeah. I think that, so who I wrote this originally for was for Jay, right? And I was like, this would be a good one that we probably going to be on the other side of. I'm not sure now, right? We'll never know at this point, unless she, listens to this and wants to bring it back up when she gets back in here. But I think that the world is soft. Like, because your kid has ADHD or ADD, I agree with your point. I always think about, I harken back to Chris Rock. Like, you only special in this house. You know what I mean? When you go out in the real world, people not going to give a fuck about you having ADHD and ADD and all your rights and shit like that. You have to show that you're a sane, competent human being before people start getting behind you. Because if not, they gonna throw you to the fire. And also at the same time, it hit different because you part of this black parenting thing that, that we come from, like fully black parenting, where it's like, yo, like that's something that's normal to me. Like my mom used to tell me, told me one time she was going to cut my eyebrows because my grades was low. I remember Venus was like, Karen, don't cut the boy's eyebrows.
Your mom was
shout out to Venus for having my back.
Your mom would have done it.
We was definitely
cutting eyebrows is crazier than bagging up everything in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I wasn't even thinking my mom was like the devil at that time. I knew I was fucking up. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing though. When you hold your kids accountable throughout the whole process of life, when you make a threat like that, they do self-reflect to a certain degree and go, you know what, this one might be me. When I didn't make grades and I had to sit in the house after my mom paid for the Spirit pack, paid $295.
No, Spirit gone.
And I couldn't pay. And guess what? I had to sit there. And then when I got my grades up the next progress report, guess who was still grounded? Because I owed her back time from when I didn't have the grades the first time. It's not, oh, it's good enough because you got the grades up. No, you owe me one more half semester to see if you can hold this.
That's crazy that you said that, because like my man was telling me that there was a girl at his job. There's real life consequences, right? That's what you're talking about. There's consequences for my actions or inactions in life. There was a girl at his job that didn't change her tax bracket. Like she was claiming like 6. She ain't got no kids or nothing. Right? Yeah. She was getting an extra $800 a check. IRS came knocking on in April. Yeah, you owe us 20 grand. She like, what the
20 piece?
20 bands, bro.
Man, start flipping birds.
She was like, yo, how am I going to, where he work at, you would think like you should be able, you can make that back now. The IRS payments, like, yeah, they offer you payments, but them payments is slave deals.
Bro, I owe $900 from like 4 years ago.
Oh my God.
I haven't done, I would say something bad. I haven't done my taxes in 2 years.
The percentage though that they hit you with,
I'll say I haven't done my taxes in 2 years, and I'm pretty sure they owe me money from my work, like the way my job is. But I know because they're gonna want the late fees, everything like this. My $800. With the 2 New Year's tacked
about
on,
$3,200.
It's about to be $3,200, and they gonna want $1,200 a month.
Yeah,
I'm about to get hit. I'm about to get hit so crazy, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything because guess what? It's on me.
Yeah,
like I can't be mad.
You can't protect nobody from that, though,
yeah,
right?
You got to protect you from you.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people don't be realizing, like, yo, it's cool to save your kids. Like, I'm with you on that. But sometimes they gotta learn the hard way, because you know what? You may not even have when they adults. You may not have that 20 piece of spot them.
A 20 piece is crazy.
20 is wild, especially like and then she, she's in the medical field, but not a doctor. You know what I mean?
How you owe the government a Hyundai Elantra?
Well, that's the thing, though, right? Like, if you think about it, 20 don't sound that crazy if you get an extra $1,600 a month.
No, I'll say 20 don't sound that crazy when you see those commercials like tax relief. If you owe $500,000 or less.
Yo, 20 piece is wild. So it's like, fam, you got to tell people, like, yo, like, the world ain't going to wait for you on certain things. I bagged up some clothes. I bagged up some items or whatever. She acting up. Like, yo, because I had to sit back and reflect, and I was like, yo, I give you a lot of shit. Like, and as a kid, I got a lot of shit too, and I would say that, like, I was, spoiled to a bit, but I also grew up in the era where we went outside. So when you took outside away, man, that broke my soul. These kids, they don't give a fuck if they're in the house. They used to being with you.
In the house is outside.
Yeah. And in the house, internet in general. Internet is like, yo, that's like you unplug the Wi-Fi. That's an ass whooping to them.
You know, here's a funny quick story. I remember one time my mom gave me the decision. She said, you can get spanked or you cannot go outside the rest of the week.
Man, I'm taking a whooping all day.
We had a screen door, and I was tired of getting spanked, man. I was getting my ass beat all the time. I said, you know what? I'm not going to go outside for the rest of the week. I come home, do my homework. It's crazy how fast homework is done when you just sit down and focus on it and you ain't thinking about going outside. I sit down, I did my homework in like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm a genius. I go outside. She's like, where you going? She said, you can go sit in the little foyer and look through the screen door. I had that screen door for 3 hours and watched my friends play outside. I swear to God. I said, I'm never doing this again. I'm taking the butt whooping every time. Every time. Every time.
Hey, my ass is stinging, but I'm through the threshold.
Hey, bro. I sat there and watched my boys play outside every day for 3 straight days. I think I got like in trouble on a Thursday.
That afraid of a whooping, you would have been done.
Bro, I sat out there like I was in solitary confinement, bro. Like, they had me PC'd up.
That hurts.
I just sitting there just like single Morgan Freeman glory tier.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, taking something away, it does. You know what's funny though? I come from like an academic background. I got a master's degree, and I've talked about this, you know, child psychology shit and everything. But when they be like, yo, studies show, I want to know when you did the study. I also want to know where that grown ass motherfucker is now and what are they doing with their life, and I also want to know what ethnicity they are, because even
ethnicity, like. Culture, like I need to know where they grew up. Your ethnicity might not matter depending on where you grew up, because the culture of your environment will also dictate some of these things.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you know, like kids don't respond. What kids are we talking about specifically that don't respond to this?
And let's make it clear: the kids who need this, because the world might be set up against them, their parents don't sign them up for studies.
Right. They got silver
Can we
teeth.
have this conversation that your sample size does not apply to the kids that this probably is going to affect if we don't do it a certain way?
Yeah, this kid is rabid. Like he's wild. You know that, because I think about that, and I also think about like in the places that I worked at or whatever, the people that take that approach. When you start meeting these real kids that is about that life or whatever, you gonna learn that like yo like a certain rough exterior type of parenting or, you know, guidance and shit like that is going to work for these young men, right? It's gonna work for these young women. You know, like you. I think that I do agree that you need a balance between both. You know what I mean?
Like you have to let them slack a little bit. They're still a child. Like let them be a child.
Yeah. Like I told my daughter that earlier today. I said, yo, no ice cream when we was here. We get home. Motherfucker just sneak in the kitchen, right? Just start taking scoops.
Hey, I
said, fam, didn't I tell you no ice cream earlier? You want to look at me and start crying and shit? And I was like, dude, I tried the nice approach with you right now.
Also, veteran move. Didn't I tell you something? Instantly cry. Veteran move.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. And then looked at me, and then forgot that you had a whole roll of cotton candy earlier. How much sugar you need? Shit was this big, Zo. How much more sugar do you need? Hey, oh. I said, yo, I took you to Baskin Robbins Friday, Saturday, and Sunday last week. Am I the devil? Like, you know, they be having you feeling like it's you.
Hey, Carlos, I want you to know, now you speak about this, I didn't tell you this earlier, we're on the pause, it's funny. Your daughter has officially entered the age where she tried to break some cash off me. Last time, not today, but last time I seen her, she asked me for straight up cash. She said, you got any money in your pocket?
That's crazy.
I said, Corey. And I thought about it. I said, you know what made me feel worse as her older cousin? If I had cash, she would have got it off me. She would have got it off me.
I mean, look, man, she done got a few things. Every time I go to your house, there's something new I got to bring home.
Bro.
I've been walking around that fucking lion in her bag this whole time. Like, your mom bought that shit too damn big. When I walk around with it, you know, because she over there hugging this shit on the course. I'm like, fam, focus. Like, god damn. But it was a lot of shit going on. But like I said, look, man, y'all can keep that soft shit, you know, like for yourself or whatever, because I've seen some of these kids grow up and I've seen how they talk to y'all when they 20, 21. Sit down, Sharon. I'll never talk to my mom like that.
Hey, you know what I do respect about those kids?
You tell your mom to sit her ass down? in a funny way.
Yeah. I was about to say,
you
I'm
not
like,
serious.
I'm definitely.
You not serious. You
I,
serious, but you not like.
there's definitely, as I've gotten older, and, we always talk about, like, at one point you realize, like, when I turned 25, I realized, like, damn, my dad had me at 25. This fool was just some dude. You know what I mean? Like, you grow up thinking your parents are, like, these all-knowing beings. The older I get, the more, I'll say I am sarcastic with them about certain things. Like, I'm big, like, I've always called my parents partially by their first names. I've always called my dad by his first name. And, like, I call my mom Yoli sometimes when she's really getting on my nerves. And I'm very sarcastic with them. And it bothers them. But, I can't be rude in a sense. But, like, because, you grow up always thinking, like, every time you say something dumb, your parents say something to say. Every time they say something stupid, I am on their bumper.
I'm just saying that, like, when we get to this age, like kids that grew up from that ilk, like, there's still a certain level of respect that we have for our elders. There's a certain level of respect that we have for our parents versus the people that say, like, oh, they don't respond well to this. Motherfucker don't respond well to a lot of shit.
You know what's funny? I was watching some little clip from, like, I think it was like the Jennifer Hudson show or something like that, and my mom be watching this stuff during the day. And some guy came up, and it was like, tell your truth. And he goes, I don't respect my elders. Probably about my age. And then I think it was like Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton, he came on, and he addressed it. That guy that said that, he goes, you will respect your elders. You will listen to them. You will be intent. You will look them in the eye.
He was talking to the kids.
He was talking to them, but listen what he said.
That's a YN.
No, but no. It's like buttoned up, like guy about my age, like look like clean cut, like He said that, but he ended it with, and you will listen to them. And the second they leave, you don't do any of that shit they told you to do. And it's like, we just owe them the respect of hearing them out, is basically what he's saying.
I do.
You don't have to do what they do, though. You don't have to do what they say anymore. You are an adult. And I was like, okay, I get the difference. I feel like we grew up in a generation where, like, you at least get, it's kind of like giving the elders, like, the benefit of the doubt. Like, all right, I don't want to hear this, but, as you being older, I'll at least hold it down and listen to you. I ain't going to do what you said because I already made up my mind. But it's more disrespectful to not do what you said and not listen to you at all.
I went to a dark corner of Instagram on Friday on, like, the new, I don't know, man. These young dudes, I'm scared of them. They don't give a shit. I thought our generation was bad. Don't get me wrong. We had 50 Cent, Ja Rule. I won't call him Ja Rule, but we had 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, like The Game, gangster rap and shit. But these young dudes right now, they it's a different breed.
You know how I thought about this? So, from like 17 to 21, I had got like a taste of the real world, being around people from really different environments and understanding like what like a real tough guy look like, what someone who's scared and portrays themselves as tough so they don't have to be bothered with, and like the cool. Like, you remember the first time you met like a cool gangster? Like, he don't really talk much. He keeps himself. He stays calm. But the second it happens. You know what I mean? Right. I realize this. Discretion is also a gangster trait. Like, that's why the mob moves the way they move. That's why, like, the OGs say they move a certain way, and they don't necessarily have to be so boisterous all the time. Back to what we were saying about the YNs. You know how I know these fools is wildin'? All the guys you were talking about, they were committing crimes. There weren't video cameras. Catching a body knowing that there's a camera 15 feet away from you at all times, everywhere in the world, and not caring, is the craziest shit in the world to me. Yeah. These kids are committing crimes that they know you can see. And then they're telling you about it. Like, remember what he said? You know what's funny? Before, you could be a rapper because you could lie about the crimes you committed because no one knew if you did them because they couldn't be on camera. The whole point was to not get caught. So you could lie and say you did a crime, and then there was no
shoulder shrug you.
Yeah, and it was just industry. Now you got to commit the crime to get the actual like validation to make the music.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm not.
Yeah, you're not a liar anymore, but you're an idiot.
I'm not about to beat that mark. I'm cool.
And the music stops. And there's something when you hear when you know they did it and you can hear it in their voice, it's crazy.
I give it to them. It ain't look.
Here's the thing.
I just watched this shit scared. I was like, yo,
Carlos, crazy.
I was like, why I feel feeble.
Hey, Carlos, one of my boys said, you gotta give it to them because if you don't, they gonna take it.
Oh shit, that's funny as hell, man. All right, one more, we get out of here. I told you I ain't gonna be here long-winded today, man. Fun facts. This one I found out actually at work. I took a wild guess, but somebody was pregnant. Babies have more bones than adults, 300 versus 206. 94 bones have to fuse together at some point. I don't think they lose them or anything like that.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. I was like, do they just fuse?
Yeah, I'm sure like the femur and all that, fuses together.
Which would make sense because you're getting pushed out of the canal. Probably
easier, just some biology shit. Yeah. I found that out. They put that on the list. There's a few other things that they had on there. I thought that was kind of crazy. The first American alarm clock was created in 1787 by Levi Hutchins in Concord, New Hampshire. This device he made was only for himself, only because it rang at 4 a.m. to wake him up from work. So one like he sold, mass produced it.
Oh, he just had
Imagine if you had an alarm clock and they was like, "Yo, this one is only gonna wake you up at 4 a.m."
But the question is though, like, do I need to get up at 4 a.m.?
I don't know. It's the 1787. I think
yeah, he was farming. First of all, his name was Levi.
yeah.
They don't even name people Levi no more. I literally, when you said that, I was really thinking to myself, when's the last time I met somebody named Levi?
You haven't. You just seen the genes.
I think one of my friend's kids is named Levi. I just can't remember.
We bringing back certain shit. You know what I mean?
No, that's funny though. Yeah, if your name was Levi in the 1700s, you were working the fields. You were plowing shit.
But you know what? In my dumbass brain, I'm thinking like that was the first clock. I want to say there was like clock towers in London and shit like that.
I think technically, as weird as it sounds, it might have been like the first. That sounds crazy. Like repetitive timer. Like it was probably on a 24-hour cycle and went off. It probably wasn't even technically a clock. Like it probably didn't say 4 a.m. It just probably
it would have to be like custom made though. Yeah,
it was probably like on a timer that it's gonna go off around 23 and a half hours after the last time I did it.
That's crazy.
Which is actually very, like, in that day and age, it's very intuitive.
It is. But 4 a.m. wake-ups, that's before the sun come up in certain places. But I was looking at, there's a place in Norway, we were talking about it last week. There's a place called Hell in Norway, but then there's also a place where the sun never sets for like fucking, like a 99 days? Mm-hmm. And then they also have 99 days of nighttime. You
remember when, shouts to Grandma again, she said when she went to Alaska that it's whatever, like they get like 18 hours of sunlight for like part of the year or something like that. Like she woke up from a nap and she said she went to go get ice cream down the street and she didn't realize it was 4 o'clock in the morning because it was already so bright outside.
Was it closed?
Yeah, it was closed, but she was like, it was so bright outside. Like she was under the impression it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. She hadn't really paid attention. And it was like 4 a.m. basically. Now,
at least in your story, what you took, because Alaska's not the most northerners tip. Mm. Like, imagine if the sun just was out right now, like it's midday at 12. It's just revolving in a circle. Would that not fuck with you a little bit?
In San Diego, the day parties would go crazy.
It would.
The all-time daylight parties?
Bro.
Also, I feel like that could equally...
I'm sure you could adjust to it.
I feel like that's equally as depressing. Because in my mind, then I have to always be doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that's why I was like, yo, we never heard of an athlete coming out of Norway in this portion. How the fuck you train with the sun up all day long?
How do you get sleep?
I know.
Hey, blackout curtains go crazy though.
Yeah.
You got good. You got good.
You got to feel it, but it's also always probably warm.
That would kind of piss me off a little bit.
Like, yo, you just wake up, it's 85.
Yeah. Sometimes I want to go outside and it be chilly. Like, get a little crisp air.
Get a nice cool breeze.
Yeah.
The sun circling around us, it would fuck with me a little bit.
One of my things I hate most in the world is waking up and going outside and it's already hot. I'd rather it be a little cold in the morning when I'm getting up. Like if I get up.
Let it feel like morning.
Yeah. If it don't feel like like our family's like, our
family's
what that is, Central though? You wake up at 8:30. And it's already 89, 90 outside at 8:30. I want to fight everybody.
I think that's a nostalgia thing, though. Because, like, you probably associate that with waking up as a kid and going to school and getting dropped off at 7 a.m., being cold, and then the day warming up and you actually get to start your day. Like, you just, like, you're trained to do that.
Actually, it's crazy. That you're right. I'm institutionalized. When I went to Eastlake, we started at 7:06.
Yeah,
that's crazy. You expect
me to I honestly feel like it's colder now than it was back then.
100%. But starting school that early, you think my brain's up? I'm 15.
No. And I'm also a product of forgetting to bring a jacket.
I never bring a jacket. Like, the fact I'm wearing this is the craziest thing.
So chill was like what woke me up, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a jacket guy. Like, I maybe have... This might be one of two things I have with a hood on in my whole closet.
You know what it is? You don't want to stuff your backpack too big.
100%. I'm not tying it around my waist.
Yes.
Because I got a locker, yeah. We don't get that.
Locker,
we didn't have lockers there.
Yeah, we had lockers.
I had to fight for my life. You tie around your waist?
built in the 50s, so.
Yeah, because Benita had lockers. But everything else that didn't have lockers. But
you know anybody who went pro that went to Benita? Anything?
I think Benita had a couple baseball guys.
But never football, huh? Or basketball?
One of their... No, not basketball. San Diego State's running back was from Benita, but he originally went to Wisconsin, and then he went to Eastlake at one point too. But they've had like big name guys. I think Greg Bell,
but never from the neighborhood, huh?
Like from Benita.
Yeah.
No, they've had some guys. Benita has athletes, but you got to remember that was them and Sweetwater and Chula were like the only. It was like them, Sweetwater, Chula, and Hilltop were the only South Bay schools for a very long time. So like they had
Castle Park too.
Yeah, in Castle Park, yeah. But like someone had to come out of there because you got to think about all the high schools that are now in between those schools. All those kids are going. What?
Southwest.
Ain't nobody coming out of Southwest.
That's another one too. That's what, but Montgomery either.
Nah, guys will come out of Montgomery.
Baseball wise, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say people.
But not football.
I've never. Shout out to Southwest. I'll say this. My brother went to Southwest. I got older homies that went to Southwest. Southwest has produced some of the finest women in San Diego. And no one wants to talk about it, but I've never heard of an athlete in my life come out of Southwest.
I've never met anyone that ever went to school there. Besides
really?
Your brother.
Nah.
And he act like he came out of Southwest.
Yeah, I'm real South Bay babies though. Like, yeah, Southwest has talent. It's just not on the field. Your brother
wears big ass jeans and Cortezes. I was like, yeah. Nah, I was like,
I got Cortezes on right now. Shouts to the gang.
And he was part of me buying homies when I was growing up.
Hey, homies were lit.
Yeah, I'm not bad at it.
Hey, you had a lot of homies. I forgot about that.
I did.
You had a real collection,
bro. Because they used to sell them right here at the taco shop. So
you took pride in your homies collection, low key.
Stop telling people shit like that. Every time we get on here, you want to. That's kind of whack. That's kind of whack. That seems like culture vulturism.
I never even thought about the fact that every time I do low key.
We got a ball game.
Yeah, low key. Every time I'm on here, I do low key air you out about something.
Yeah, the homies collection is crazy. Like I forgot that I did have that. You know what's funny? But you
know what's funny though? That's all like a shot. Where I'm really a South Bay baby. Everybody had a homies collection. So in my head, like right now when I said that, it does sound crazy. But me growing up, if you went into 6 of my friends' houses, at least 2 of them had a homies collection in their room.
Yeah.
Like it was a thing. There was like, yeah.
The fucked up part was that they made one that had a wheelchair.
Why wouldn't they do that? There's always a wheelchair.
I know, but
every hood has a dude who got shot in a wheelchair.
But yeah, bro, they didn't make niggas.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like there's a connotation to that. Like but you know the difference is wait a minute.
It's culturally accurate though because like
who made homies though?
Like it's for the Hispanic population, but you know,
I need to know who made.
But black
homies.
people get mad when Mexicans say the N-word. But like, so when they say, "Oh, I'm with the homies," like that's their people.
I still get mad over that. But,
really? I'm also 33% on the Filipinos getting that shit off too.
I gotta know who owned homies. If white people own homies and made one in a wheelchair, that's kind of crazy.
Hey, bro. But here's the thing: the culture accepted it.
I gotta find out who. Oh, here we go. Homies Toys was created. All right, David Gonzalez made it. He's got a name.
Also, I know like David Gonzalez is low-key the most generic Mexican American name of all time. I know like 6 David Gonzalez's literally.
He probably from LA. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I feel better.
Oh, hey, how would you feel if you were culturally appropriating with your collection and a white man made it? That's a double culture appropriation.
I just told you, if he made that and made one in a wheelchair, we got problems.
That's the issue.
I never thought about it back then.
That's the issue. It's not the
cultural appropriation wasn't a thing when we was kids.
I know, but hold on. The one in the wheelchair's issue. It's not the dude in the Lokes giant beanie, wife beater on with the big jeans. That wasn't the stereotypical one to you.
Oh, Baby Joker. Baby Joker. I think that's all I got for that. Oh, Velcro was inspired by birds sticking in clothes. Like, you know, like when you was a kid, you used to go play at that one little field and them little spike things being your socks.
Oh, the field down the street from here used to have those.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody thought of Velcro. Was like, oh shit, what if we could stick items together off of that? Very intuitive.
Hey, just thinking about like Velcro and old stuff. Shout out to Old Navy for I call them the Recess 9000s. The pants that had the zipper right underneath the jeans. And they became shorts.
The pants that had the zipper.
So remember they used to zip underneath here. And the bottom.
And you can get rid of them? That's big nasty vibes.
It's big. But when you were like 7 and you
had a pair.
And you were trying to go to recess, I unzipped those every recess. I'm about to get this triple double. What are we talking
That
about?
was the original sport mode clothes.
Low key.
I'm not worried about shit in sport mode, man. I'm cool. All right, man. Let's get up out of here, bro. Hour and 45. I'm good. Come on, where my applause at? They ain't got me. They ain't got me. Look at that. As soon as I say I want to retire, shit want to start working. I'm out the game. I don't know yet. We'll figure this shit out, man. I'm tired.
I don't know about Carlos. I'll be here next week.
Oh, man. I'll be here no matter what. I'm still thinking about retirement. Jay's not going yet, so, you know, we got a little more pods left in us. Fuck it. 3 cheers. Zoe said it. I just watched, you know, George Foreman's movie like a couple of years ago and was like, damn, I remember when he came back to fight when we was young. He was like in the 90s, right?
It was 94, 95. I was just born.
I remember when George came back and he was training and shit like that. He was pulling that big ass bus over there. Like I remember,
hey, a true athlete though.
But it was on the news. That's why I was like, yo, this is like I went back to. I don't think you remember when we lived. Maybe you did or didn't when we lived over there by Southwestern.
Yeah, in the military housing.
960 Grossmont Court. So I drove up there, and I actually remember like I had been there. Shit, probably since maybe 01 or 02 when my mom and dad went back to go see some people that they knew that still lived there at the time. Shit looked exactly the same. The problem is that when you older, shit, you like, yo, this shit's small.
Hey, shouts to that. Hey, I always air you on this pod. I'll give you credit for one thing. First, Carlos is the reason why I lost my first fade, but he also took my first fade. Some kid pushed me off the swing in the military housing. I got a bloody nose. I hit the sand, blood coming out my nose. Carlos punched this man right in his face.
I've been in plenty of fights. I can't remember.
I might have been 6 and you were 10, and you cold clocked him with no questions asked.
I don't even
And then we
remember
walked back. I only remember because it was my nosebleed. Because I never had a nosebleed before. I thought I was gonna die.
I lost my first fade over there too, though. Daryl wasn't there to help me the second time. The first time Daryl was there, we beat the brakes off that motherfucker, man. Hey. Yo, I remember it was like 4th of July or something. We was whooping his ass under the fireworks. Hey, a week went by, he caught me by myself. Yo, he caught me by myself. Yo, hit me right in my temple. My dad was like, who hit you? I said, yo, street justice, man. We beat him up last week. Yo, anybody put their hands on you? He was like 12 or 13. I was like 9. I was like, yo, he beat the fuck out. It just hit me in the temple. My soft ass just crumbled on the floor, man. Folded. Fucking Folgers. Just once you wake up, it's Folgers in your cup, bro.
I got a 3 cheers. That's so fucking funny. 3 cheers. I had a very random act of kindness. I want to shout this dude out. I was at the ATM after work, and I was definitely disheveled. I was tired. I worked like maybe 10 hours. I'm like making a cash deposit, and I noticed the guy next to me at the ATM. He's having like you only take so many bills. Like when you make like a cash deposit, it only takes like up to 40 bills, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm like straightening out my money. I have it like all messed up. And I see I put like a couple hundreds in the thing, some 50s. And I guess he had reached like his limit, and he said it to me. Or he said something along those lines of like the ATM had reached his limit. I'm thinking he's like, hey, how you just got off work? Da, da, da. He asked me if my ATM was working. I said, yeah. I'm thinking because of what I saw him like kind of talk to himself through when he like saw, he's like, oh damn it, reached the limit. He was gonna ask me if he could just use my ATM real quick. This man's like, he looks at me and he goes, hey, yeah, man, it hit the limit. I can't put any more bills in. You just got off work? I said, yeah, man. He's like, damn, that's crazy. And then I look over and he has a driver, like he has a chauffeur. He's in this big Escalade. And he goes, yeah, man, that sucks. He goes, hey, you know what, man? Here you go. I can't deposit it anyway. Hands me $100 and just walks to his car.
Damn.
And I was like, and it's not about the actual money situation of it. I was just more like, he was like, yeah, this guy's working. I felt like he was like looking at me. I definitely looked like I just got off work. He was just like, I don't really need this. This is bad. You know what, man, you can just have this.
I definitely did that when I was in, that shit was hella weird too that I did that. I was up in Arizona. It's funny that you said that when I went to AZ a month and a half ago. She gonna kill me when she hear this. But there was a brother working in the club, you know, they be in there, you know, you put the money in there.
Yeah, the bathroom attendant.
And he was like, hey, man, you want? I said, I don't need none of that, big dog. And I just pissed real quick, washed my hands, reached in my pocket, and I had a 50 in there. And I said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in here, bro. It don't even matter. I said, pay it forward to somebody else. What cracked me up was that he pulled that 50 out and put that shit in his pocket.
Oh, yeah, no. Hey, cause the
He
trick
said, I'm
is,
not leaving this shit in there.
well, because the trick is, you gotta let people see you got tipped, but you can't let them see you made money.
Yeah,
Like you gotta leave a couple dollars, be like, oh, other people
or
tipped
just
you too.
be there like, he don't need this. Because I've seen people, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I've seen people snatch tips out of tip jars before, like when the cash register turned around.
I haven't done that. I haven't seen someone do that, but I think I told this story on here. I went on a date broke years ago, and she gave me money to go to the dispensary. She didn't know how to first time patient coupon. She gave me like $75. I spent like $23. We went to have pizza and Jamba Juice and did like a bunch of other random shit. I took her out with her own money for the rest of that day.
And we out. That. You saved that for the end of the pod? That is crazy. Oh my god.
You know why? Because I always think of the date. Have you ever seen Half Baked with Dave Chappelle when he steals the money from the homeless dude, like during the date?
Bro, that's crazy, man. Oh my god. We out, bro.
If you wanted a clip, that's your clip right there.